How to identify if you've been in a codependent relationship with a narcissist. Now, we've all heard of narcissism, but sometimes it's hard to recognize when you're playing the codependent role in that dynamic. So let's break it down. First of all, what is codependency? So codependency is a term that we hear a lot about, but what does it actually mean? Essentially, it's when somebody becomes over-reliant on another person, usually because they feel like their own worth is tied into that person's approval. They may sacrifice their own needs, desires, or happiness to keep the person or make the narcissistic person feel happy. It's not about healthy boundaries. It's about survival in a relationship that feels like it's constantly being tipped towards imbalance. This was me, and I am currently healing from this. My codependency started so early in life that I did not go from someone that was not a codependent to codependency. It was at such a young age, it's all I knew. So I had to work that out and is currently working that out through therapy. For me, I know there were moments where I found myself giving way more than I should have, always walking on eggshells, trying to make sure that everything was perfect. And you know what? That's really exhausting. So I didn't even realize how deep it went until I started therapy. And you may not even realize how deep it goes until you look back and see how much of yourself that you have been given away. So how do you know that you may be a codependent in this type of relationship? Well, there are a few clear signs to look out for. Are you constantly trying to make the narcissist happy, even at the expense of your own needs? This is a big red flag. You might feel like if you don't keep them satisfied, things will spiral out of control. For me, I remember constantly adjusting my actions, changing my plans, doing whatever I could to avoid conflict. It felt like if I didn't keep things smooth, I'll be met with rejection, disappointment, or even anger. In a codependent relationship, you might start losing sight of who you really are. Your desires, your goals, your values even get pushed to the back burner because you're so focused on keeping the narcissist happy. If they are upset or in a bad mood, it wrecks you, it wrecks your mood and makes you anxious or almost make you feel like you're a failure. There were moments where I didn't even know what I liked anymore or what I wanted to be. I got so caught up in trying to keep the peace, I almost forgot how to take care of myself. And this had me going down a long spiral that is taking months of therapy to help me get through, in which I'm currently undergoing. Now, this is a huge one. This next one. Codependents often have a deep fear of being abandoned or rejected by the narcissist. And you may be walking around constantly worried that they may stop loving you or you may lose them, whether it's getting fired, dumped, or even cheated on. I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like I couldn't even breathe without wondering, is today going to be the day that they pull away or criticize me for something that I cannot even control? Do you have trouble setting boundaries with this person or this type of personality? Narcissists tend to violate boundaries, and if you're codependent, you may let that happen without standing up for yourself. There was a time where I struggled to set boundaries. I let certain behaviors slide because I was too afraid to rock the boat. But the longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to gain control. So now that we have identified some signs, here's how to break free from the cycle. It's tough, but here's a few steps that can help. 1, recognize the patterns. The first step is acknowledging that this is the dynamic that you are in and that this dynamic exists. Recognize your own tendencies with this type of personality. Once you see it, you can start to break the cycle. A lot of people stay stuck in this, and they may break the cycle with one person only to transfer that codependency onto someone else. A lot of people don't even realize that they have the power to change it. And if they are like me and the codependency happened in early childhood, especially through trauma, it just may be your existence. And you may just feel like this is how it is and this is who you are and you don't know any different. And I'm here to tell you today that there is a difference, and I'm here to tell you today that you can break free from it. I was stuck in it for years. I was stuck in fear, anxiety, and worry. And for me, realizing the pattern was a game changer. It felt like a light bulb moment for me. It wasn't easy. Breaking free meant facing a lot of tough truths. It meant admitting and going back into a lot of things that was buried so deeply that was never touched on or talked about. And that was the beginning of breaking free. And I encourage you to dive into those things that may be even in your past. 2, set boundaries. Start practicing setting healthy boundaries even if it feels uncomfortable. It's essential to learn to say no and to protect your own space. Even if the narcissist doesn't understand at first sight, I had to learn that saying no didn't mean that I was a bad person. This is number 3. Now, you don't have to do this alone. Seeking support from a counselor, therapist, especially if you're dealing with trauma from the narcissist, from abuse, it can help give you the tools that you need to heal. It has been really helpful for me to open up in therapy, though it has been very hard. It's a crucial part in your healing process and breaking free from this cycle, regaining your identity and breaking free from the worry, fear, and anxiety that is usually symptoms of a codependent. This to me was the biggest one for me, and it's the most freeing thing that I'm about to share with you right now. Reclaim your identity. Even if you've never formed an identity, if your trauma started early, start focusing on rediscovering who you are outside of the narcissistic relationship. Think of yourself outside of those relationships, the things that you've compromised, the people pleasing. Think of yourself outside and remove those people from you and start to discover who you are outside of those. And if you can't do that on your own, you may need to go back to step 3 under the guise and support of a counselor to help you reach that. What do you enjoy? What do you want to do with your life? It's time to get back to you and discover who you really are. I'm still learning this part, but I know it's one of the most important things that I can do for my own healing. If this sounds familiar to you, know that you're not alone. It's never too late to make the changes. I don't care how old you are. If you want to talk more about your own experience or have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Go in the comments, send me a message, and I would love to share my experiences and help you find the tools that you need to help yourself. Take care of yourself, and remember, you deserve to have a relationship where you feel valued and respected. Thank you for watching the Paul Larry podcast. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Be blessed.